just a moment. Lane Frost, come back on your screen. What are you smoking? What are you smoking? What are you smoking?
I don't know if it's.
Click on that red button. What are you smoking? Don't click anymore.
Oh.
Now,
Can you hear me now?
what are you smoking?
I'm not smoking anything, Your Honor.
What am I seeing coming from your mouth or nose that looks like smoke?
It could be the blur or the reflection. I have no idea.
You know that lying to a court can get you in a lot of trouble?
Yeah, no.
And you're not smoking anything?
No, ma'am.
What'd you say that was I've been seeing coming out of your mouth or nose?
No, I'm saying it could be the blur from back there. I don't know.
After this docket is over, I'm going to replay. And if I see what I think I've been seeing, that's one problem.
Okay.
If I find out you're not telling me the truth, that's a second problem. All right, you may mute. Cecil Zilke. Unmute.
Yes, ma'am. I still had it on mute. I apologize.
Okay, are you smoking?
Yes, ma'am. I'm smoking a cigarette.
Okay.
I apologize. Do you want me to put it out?
Did the deputy tell you not to smoke?
No, ma'am, I didn't. I apologize. I'll put it out. I apologize.
I sent him a message too to quit it.
When
Did you? I'm very sorry, Your Honor. I apologize. I put it out. I'm sorry. I sit in my house and
Oh, you're not. You're sitting in my court.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Madam Judge, you're correct. I am in your court. I apologize. I put it out and I'm very sorry.
All right. Mute and don't do it again.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll contemplate whether finding you in contempt or not, because the officer and I both told you at the beginning not to be smoking in court. Don't do anything right now.
Madam Judge, I came into the court late, and so
that's a problem too. You don't come into court late. You come into court at the time you're told to, or you're ordered to. I think you better stop talking and not make things any more worse for you, Mr.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I apologize.
Mute. Stop talking, mute until I call your name again, because it can only get worse for you.
Yes, ma'am.
That's 3 violations right there: coming in late, not doing what you were told, and smoking. And I hope everyone else is paying attention.
Here that pursuant to KSA 21-2501, the court that specifically subsection B, it does provide quote, the court shall ensure upon the offender's first appearance or in any event before final disposition of a felony or an A or B misdemeanor or a violation of a county resolution which prohibits an act which is prohibited by a class A or B misdemeanor, that the offender has been processed, fingerprinted, and
Yes. And while we're on recess, Mr. Zilke, now what are you doing? Resting? Sleeping? You're muted.
Yes, ma'am. I just
You're in court.
Waiting for my turn. I apologize.
Y'all are in court. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize.
Okay. State of Kansas versus Cecil James Zilke.
Yes, ma'am.
And Jared Regier appears for the state. Mr. Zilke in person and pro se on 1 count, driving while suspended after a prior conviction. That prior would elevate this to a Class A non-person misdemeanor. The penalties include a must-serve minimum 5 days, up to a year in jail. It also has a possible fine up to $2,500. And my understanding is that the prior would exclude diversion. Do you wish to have an attorney since there is some mandatory must-serve jail time, Mr. Zilke?
Well, Madam Judge, I have a couple questions about that.
Right?
How does a 15-year-old charge constitute second?
How does it constitute a prior conviction?
Yes, ma'am. 15 years. 15 years.
15 years. Well, the legislature did not put a time limit on how far back the state was to look. And so the answer is,
My understanding was
asked
that
the
was supposed to fall off
legislature.
my record after 7 years, and this is 15 years.
Well, you'll need to talk to the legislature about that or an attorney that represents your interests. So again, do you want to talk to an attorney about that? You're looking at some mandatory jail time, just reminding.
Yes, I understand that, and let me retract and back up here. I didn't mean to disrespect your court. I literally got kicked out of my house. My girlfriend and I broke up, and I got kicked out of my house. I didn't even know I was supposed to be in court this morning until I called the court this morning. So I showed up to court late because I called the court and she was like, "Oh, well, you're supposed to be in court right now." I was like, "Oh, can you give me that?" I apologize to you. I apologize to the
Today, Junior.
What? Prosecutor. Yes, thank you. I never meant any disrespect to you guys.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So we can move on from there. We're okay there.
Madam Judge, I'm a country boy from Kansas. The only trouble I've ever been in involves cars and alcohol. Okay, that's just me.
Okay. So do you understand though that you are facing a charge? So
I get my license back.
My question is, do you want to hire an attorney, apply for court appointed, or waive your right to attorney? Is that jail time mandatory?
December 22nd.
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
I can get my license back on December 22nd.
All right. Do you want to?
Again, it's everything that I've ever done involves alcohol and cars. So I can reinstate my license December 22nd. So if there's any possible way that we could maybe continue it, and then when I get my license back, I'll bring it to the court and I'll bring it to Madam Judge and I'll be like, "Hey, my license is back."
I can't negotiate with you.
I'm not asking you to
Mr. Regier, the prosecutor.
I apologize.
Okay, hang on. Mr. Regier, the prosecutor can negotiate with you. He brought the charges. He can negotiate with you.
Okay.
What I can do is set the matter for trial and hear the facts and see if there's enough evidence to convict or not. And if there is, then I would decide what your consequence would be. But at this stage.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I understand what you're saying now. And I apologize earlier. I wasn't the one talking to my girlfriend. I'm sitting in the house with 3 dogs, huh?
All right. Okay. So
when I sent that text message, I thought that was going to your bailiff.
Okay.
I thought that was going to you.
You sent that, I think, to everybody. All right. Well, Mr. Zilke, I just need to know, are you gonna have an attorney or you represent yourself?
Well, thank you very much, ma'am. I appreciate that. But uh, regardless, I apologize. I never
Your
meant.
apologies are accepted. Now, don't worry about it anymore. Just don't do it again and move on, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, so are you going to have an attorney? Or are you gonna-
I don't really think I need an attorney if we can have a sidebar to
Well, I'm not doing a sidebar, and I don't have time for Mr.
prosecutor.
Gear and you to talk today.
Me and the prosecutor have a little sidebar.
Not today, I don't have time.
I can diversion from there, I think. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think they'll divert a second one, but I'll tell you what I'm gonna do.
The first one was 15 years ago.
All right.
See, now you're doing what I did.
All right. I am going to continue this, the time to count against you, not the state, to February 26th at 9 a.m.
Thank you, ma'am.
That'll give you time to do whatever you're gonna do to get your license back.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And then that'll let you do whatever you want to do to look at diversion, talk to the county attorney. To
Well,
hire an attorney. Whatever you want to do, that'll give you
I
time
don't
to
pay
do
the
it.
money to buy an attorney, but you know, if prosecutor and I can talk to each other
All
and
right, so are you going to waive your right to an attorney and talk to the prosecutor yourself? Because he's not going to want to talk to you except through your attorney or if you waive your right to counsel.
how about I just shut up?
Okay, but I still, this time I need an answer. Do you want an attorney or do you not? This time I do need you to say something. Yes or no? Do you want to hire an attorney if you cannot
Can
afford
I
it?
still seek counsel if I say I'll take my continuance?
Well, I don't want to waste the 3 months in between. I want you to, if you're going to want to talk to the attorney, he's going to want a waiver. If
Well, so I work out of Spirit, and I work. I actually pay.
some prepaid legal stuff.
Yes, ma'am. There you go. Thank you.
What? Okay, there you go. Perfect. You can talk to your prepaid legal. And they can tell you, give you some ideas from there.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. So that's what we're gonna do. You've got the address for diversion if you want to look at it, right? The B.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You've got Mr. Regeer's number, and you're gonna talk to prepaid legal, and they're gonna give you some idea on how you want to wrap all this up. So
Yes,
please
ma'am.
don't be in the same, I don't know, state today when I see you in a couple of months, okay? Have something moving forward.
Madam Judge, this literally is my first court appearance on
This
the
charge,
so I wasn't so aware of the rules and stuff, and I really apologize for
we're moving on from there. You're good. We're moving on. Not to worry.
do that. I apologize.
And I told you that's accepted and we're moving on and you don't have to worry about that as long as
Yes,
you don't
ma'am.
repeat
Yes,
it.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good deal.
Judge, he
Thank
needs
you.
process.
Oh, you need process. Okay. You need to take a breakout room with this deputy and because it's your second driving while suspended, I'm going to set the bond at 2,000 OR. You won't have to put the money up unless you fail to divert or come to court or whatever you're
Okay.
required to do. So go in that breakout room, get your picture and prints taken. If
Yes,
you
ma'am.
don't do
Yes,
it at
ma'am.
the date and time he tells you, you're going to
Yes, ma'am.
probably get a warrant and get arrested.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Anything further, Mr. Regeer, on this case?
No, Your Honor.
Judge.
All right. Appears in person and pro se. Mr. Zilke, you were here before on driving while suspended after prior conviction. You told me you were going to hire an attorney. How'd that work out for you? You're muted, sir. Looks like you know what, yeah, there you go, you got it.
After I spoke with an attorney, the cost is, I think I explained to you back in November that November, October was, I'd been off work since July for a back injury. So I was on limited funding, and the cost is was going to be more than I could afford.
Did you turn in an
contacted-
application for court appointed?
I had not. I contacted the prosecutor's office there and tried to see if I would be able to apply for diversion, and the gal I spoke with said that I wouldn't qualify because of the previous one, even though it was 14 years ago.
Well, don't you have a pending DUI in Sedgwick right now?
Yes, ma'am.
That would probably keep you off of it too, that and a bunch of other things, so. Okay, so diversion's not an option. Can you afford to hire an attorney? You said not?
I still haven't returned to work from my medical leave, and I'm actually I'm at Bel Air Recovery Center right now, going through rehab. So,
All right, I will appoint, if you fill out an application, can we get an application to him and have him mail it back to me?
Yes, Your Honor, that would be the same thing. He'd just need to call the clerk's office and make sure we have an updated email.
All right, sir, call the clerk's office. Are you ready for the number?
but again, I'm literally in rehab right now.
I understand, but will they not let you make a call for an application?
Let me try.
Let me ask you this, do you have access to an email at rehab?
You get privileges Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right?
She said that I get privileges Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
All right, I'm gonna set your case over at your request to April 21st at 9 a.m. Do you know when you're gonna be getting out of rehab?
I just came in, started yesterday, and I'm on a 30-day initial. So,
All right, well, that hopefully will be enough time. April 21st at 9 a.m. And contact the clerk to ask for an application and give me your email. Their number is 316-322-4370. You'll need to either mail that back to me or personally deliver it. You cannot fax it back. That they can send it to you by fax or email, but well, I guess, can he fax it back? If they have fax, he could, couldn't he?
Yes, absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay, you just can't email it back because there's something that happens to those forms that are too hard to read. So call the
okay.
clerk and have them send you or email you the form for court-appointed attorney. Fill that out completely. Don't leave blanks. Make sure you sign it and date it everywhere you're supposed to.
Yes, ma'am.
And then either put it in the US mail, or if they have a fax machine you can use, fax it. Or if you have someone visiting you that can drive it back to the courthouse, but you can't, just email it back. Do
Okay.
that as soon as possible so I can appoint an attorney if you qualify.
Okay.
All right. Anything further? Does he have bond?
Can you give me the fax number too?
I don't have the fax number, but if you call the clerk, you can talk to them about that.
Okay.
All right, if there is nothing further on this matter, we will need to have his picture and prints taken next time he's here. So make a note of that. Normally I'd make you do that today, but since you're in rehab, I'm not going to do that.
Your Honor,
Mr. Regier?
In reviewing my notes from the last hearing in November, it would appear the court did enter certain orders concerning booking and bond. I'm not showing any appearance bonds in my file, though I don't have any affidavits from the jail either, so I'm not sure what the court wants to do with
You
that.
know, thank you for bringing that up because I even had that highlighted. I ordered you to get that done last time, November 13th, and to sign a $2,000 OR bond, and you ignored my order, it looks like. Why didn't you go out and why didn't you do what I told you to do when it comes to getting your picture and prints and bond?
I thought, I think that there had a mix up. It was part of I got arrested one other night and I haven't received any charges on it, and they booked me that night. So I thought that
You have to be booked on every time you get in trouble with the law.
okay.
So this other case that you have, was that in Butler County?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it still pending?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it a felony?
I don't believe so.
Do you know when you're set for court on it?
No, ma'am. That's what I haven't received any. My first I haven't received a
summons. Well,
right. I haven't gotten a summons or anything on it.
all right. Well, Mr. Regier, you
But
might
I was arrested
keep in
that night, and
mind.
they
You might keep that in mind if we haven't set the next one or the other one. We might try to keep them on the same date, that March or that April 21st at 9. Well, that puts a big strike against you for just completely disobeying a court order. But I will deal with that when you get out of rehab. Make sure I readdress that, Mr. Regier.
I wasn't trying to disobey it, ma'am. I
did
misunderstood
disobey,
whenever I got arrested that night. I thought that I didn't really understand that when
Well, you
that
should
I needed to
brought
have that
up
done
when
for
I
every.
ordered it. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
you should have brought that up when I ordered it, if you thought that. All right, well,
No,
I'm gonna let you go
this
now.
happened after.
Oh, you got another one since then?
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
see,
That's
that
after.
doesn't even make sense with what your argument is. Your argument is, I thought when I got booked for the other one, I didn't have to follow your court order. My court
No,
order
ma'am.
came
That's not what I
first.
mean.
My first
What
court order
I
came
mean
first.
is, you told me I had to go get my picture taken and everything.
And stop, I told you to go into the breakout room with the officer, set it up, he would give you a court date, and you had to go when he told you. You didn't, and then you went out and you got another ticket, arrest, something. So I'm gonna.
I don't remember ever going into a breakout room.
Well, you probably didn't. You probably missed that order too. I think it's probably best that you stop talking right now so that you talk to an attorney and we can sort this out at your next hearing, Mr. Zilke.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So anything further, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, just to be clear from my notes, is the court reserving issues of booking and bond for the next hearing?
Reserving is a good choice of words. Yes, I'm reserving.
Very good, Your Honor.
And I'm
Nothing further
reserving
on
it.
this matter from the state.
All right, thank you. Anything further, Mr. Zilke?
No, ma'am. Thank
All
you.
right. Do well in treatment. Don't shortchange it. Okay, you may go, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. All right, everyone, is that the docket?
One moment, Your Honor.
After Mr. Aguirre looks through his, I believe that's all I have, Your Honor. And then I was just gonna ask, are we taking a small break before we start bench trials, or do you
I
want to
think
log
we
in
should.
and let them know?